Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Nikki here, and the other day I got my gel plate out because I wanted to make some collage fodder to use in my December daily and in my journaling. So I recorded this lovely video. It was about 30 minutes long, but do you think I could get it to upload to YouTube? No chance. My internet connection here is nowhere near as strong as what it used to be. So I'm going by the old rule that if you have a little bit of a bodgy internet connection, trying to keep your videos under 20 minutes can make them easier to upload. So I have taken the original video that I've done, I've sped it up to double speed, and I am doing a voiceover rather than trying to redo it all because honestly, it's never the same when you try and redo it. So what I'm doing here, I'm using some red and green paint, just cheapy paint, nothing fancy. I actually like using cheap paints. The thinner the paint, I find sometimes with gel press work, is the best. So my very first one I've done here, I've used red and then green with no drying time. And as you can see, it comes out a little bit muddy, but that's okay. Muddy is good. You can add sprinkles and sparkles and it will look just fine. So what I then do is I start again. I put some red down on my gel press and I let it dry. So in the end, after I had done them all, I realised that leaving it to dry for about 5 minutes, because especially where I am in southeast Queensland, it's very warm at the moment, it's all you need is about 5 minutes just to let that first layer dry, because acrylic paint does dry very quickly. So I cut out all the time for drying because you don't need to sit there and watch paint dry, nor do I. And I'm doing exactly the same thing again. This is just normal white copy paper, nothing fancy or fluffy. And with the drying time, you will see the difference in a minute. When I peel this up, you can actually see the colours much, much better. Now, what I used to create the pattern on this was a piece of alfoil which I had crinkled up and wrapped around a piece of cardboard. So even though that little bit got stuck on my gel plate, I'm just peeling that off to get it out of the way. There must have been a little bit of something on that plate, but probably something foreign that shouldn't have been there, not old paint, because it doesn't usually make paper tear. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I love the way that turned out. Now, the next thing I do is I'm just grabbing some Joe Sonia Gold. I love this rich gold colour, and even when you put it on the gel plate, it looks as though it's sort of separating, but it does actually work out quite well. Now, here's another homemade thing that I'm using to create some dots and spots type thing. It's just a piece of cardboard and you use your hot glue gun and you can create any pattern you like. So again, I'm letting the gold dry for 5 minutes before I put the next colour on, and I decide to go with some red. This is a Reeves paint. I got this multi-pack very cheap at Officeworks a while ago, and I do like using it on my gel press plate. It's pretty cool. It's also a lovely bright red, so I love that. Again, just using a normal piece of copy paper here, and you will see that this one at least comes off clean. So what I'm trying to say is you need to, if your plate is sticking, really spend time pressing your paper down, and you can see there's a lovely gold sheen there. It looks a lot nicer in real life than what got picked up on the camera, but that's okay. So yes, if your plate's getting a bit sticky, make sure you spend time really pressing down well so that you get the best adhesion onto your plate. Now I've grabbed some copper because I do like using copper at Christmas time, and this is just a stencil I picked up at the cheap shop the other day because I thought, oh, that's pretty cute. Now what I've done here, I've grabbed a piece of tissue, just standard tissue from the shop, it has, a lot of tissues have like a smooth side and a rough side. You need to use the rough side to pick up paint, not the smooth side, because otherwise it doesn't even adhere well to the paper. And so there I've got a couple of little cute Christmas trees that I can cut up and use. And again, I let it dry for about 5 minutes. And now I'm going in with some green on top and very thin. I do have a habit of using too much paint. The most successful gel printing I get is when I'm a little bit scummy on my paint usage and it just gets the lightest coverage. It just seems to work better. Maybe if you let it dry a little bit longer when the paint's thicker, that might help. But here you can see I do have a couple of those trees turned out really nicely. They'll be great torn around and just using that tree shape. So I was happy with that one. So now we're going to put a bit more copper down because I did have a little bit left on my plate there. And I'm going to mix in some green and we're going to try and roll them out so that they don't completely combine. I want to have the two definite colours on my print. And this is the Christmas Woolworths shopping bags. When I was in Woolies just grabbing a couple of things the other day, I didn't really need a bag, but I decided I did need a bag because I wanted this bag with these cute watermelon trees on it. So, and it's really lovely craft paper that's a bit on the thicker side, and it with the multi-tone print, I thought that turned out really cool. So we're getting some more copper down because, again, we didn't quite pick up all the paint that was left behind. And this time, this is another homemade stamp thing. Again, it's just a piece of cardboard and some squiggles with a hot glue gun. And because these things that I've made tend to slide a bit on the paint, if you hold it on the edge and then just turn the plate around like I did there, you get less smearing. You definitely get a clearer print of, the little oh my God, what are my words? I've forgotten my words here. I don't like doing voiceovers. I definitely prefer doing it live. But yes, it definitely, you'll see less smearing. So now we're going in. This is a different red. It's a deeper colour. I thought, oh, well, we can use different tones. I find this red will help with sort of a bit more of a grungy look. And I think I'm probably heading in that direction with my December daily anyway. Here I have another stencil. It's got a lot of little holes. So I don't know how successful this will be using normal white copy paper, trying to pull up the excess paint through the print. But, actually it didn't turn out too bad at all. I can definitely use that. Then peeling off the stencil and, again, giving it 5 minutes to dry. And then I decide to go in with some gold paint on top so that the gold shows through where I've lifted off the excess red paint. Again, trying not to do it too thick. I think I may have put a tiny bit too much on here, but that's okay. And then I decide to try this with a piece of tissue paper. This is craft coloured tissue paper that I found in a cheap shop, which I'd never seen before, so I was very happy to find that. When you're using tissue paper, you've got to press quite hard to get the print, but sometimes using a roller rather than your hand can help stop the tissue from tearing. But I do like using tissue for collage fodder because it's great for layering without adding too much bulk. So I'm trying very carefully to peel this off without tearing it. And it looks as though I'm being really rough, but I'm not. I'm trying so hard. But have a look how lovely that turned out. I'm really happy with that. Love that gold shining through there. So, yes, very happy with that one. Definitely will probably make a few more tissue ones because, as I said, I love it because you don't add too much bulk. So we're going to Now I got the gold paint out again because I love gold. I love all the metallics. I wish I'd remembered to grab my silver when I started this video because I certainly wouldn't have minded some of that as well. Now, we're going to try this one again, but I decided to use normal copy paper to pull up the excess paint rather than the tissue. And again, that's another piece I can tear up and add more layers to it if I want to. I didn't think about that at the time when I originally did the video. I think I might use those white ones because they're quite bare, and I might add some more layers or maybe some stenciling or something like that on them, but they'll be a handy background. Nothing goes to waste around here. That's what I love about gel pressing. So here, again, I'm trying the white tissue paper with the gold and the green, and that one actually came off quite a bit easier, even though there was more paint left behind. And again, you can't really, the camera doesn't capture the lovely sheen that is created. So there was quite a bit of gold left, and I put a thin layer of green on and decided to actually use the back side of that sheet because I wasn't really that wrapped in how that came out. But probably wasn't my best move because that paper was a little bit damp from the paint that was still on it. And in hindsight now, because I know what it looks like or what happened when I tried to peel it up, you'll see in a minute we sort of had a little bit of a disaster. Yep, okay. Yes, we lost a bit, which is such a pity because I love how it turned out. But look, it's okay. I managed to get that big piece off. There's already a piece ready to use in my journal. And this one, of course, yes, well, it came apart into a million little pieces. So we've thrown that in the bin. We've given up on that. But yes, if you want to gel press on the back side of something you've already done, please make sure it is completely dry. Yes, learn from my mistakes. Yes, so a bit of a waste there, but too bad. But I actually love the print on it. So I'll be using the rest of it. That's the way it goes. It's all good. Oh, so now I've just about run out of paper, but we're going in with some gold again. And again, trying to keep it nice and thin, and then making sure we have our 5 minutes of drying time. And now I've grabbed this stencil again because I love the look of this. So again, I'm trying the craft tissue to pull up the excess paper, even though I think it is easier to use copy paper or something a little bit thicker. You can't really see any of the print on that, but that's okay. You live and learn. Let that dry again for 5 minutes. And now we're going in with some green. Again, very thin coating. I actually let that dry for another 5 minutes before I tried to take the print because I was not lifting up enough paint. So here's another bit of that Fabulous Woolies shopping bag. I think I need to go shopping again and get more of these bags because I think they're going to be really fun. And I love the thickness and quality of that paper. It's better than the other craft paper that I've got. So I'm trying to make sure I press really firmly and get every bit, if possible, to pick up off the plate. And that worked quite successfully. Again, the camera's not really picking up the gold, but that's okay. It is what it is. So here I'm just giving you a little rundown of all the bits I made. This was, as I said, the original video was about half an hour, and I'm happy with what I ended up with. I think I might make a bit more. Might even try using some Christmas papers that I don't really like and making them look more fun using some of my little homemade tools there. And there you go. So that's a very quick, brief gel print session, making some grungy paper, getting ready for December. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye for now.